I'm going to say thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Bridget Boutlier. Can you hear me okay? My name is Bridget Boutlier. I'm the elected school board member for this area, and I can't vote for any of you because I live in another district. But I make it my business to know who is running and what to stand for, so that's why I'm here. I did give 2 questions, but I didn't sign it, so it's probably why you didn't get asked it. School board.
Is it this question? Do you believe school boards should be...
Okay, before you go there, though, I just want to mention something else.
The preamble.
Yes,
Yes,
if you
go
don't
ahead.
mind. Actually, I'm going to take it because I wrote it. But I didn't realize I had to sign it. There, thank you. Just to tell people a little bit about the elected school board member, I represent District 1 and District 2. So it goes from Lawrencetown and North Preston to Ecum and from Dartmouth to Upper Musquodoboit. So if you think we're representing one district, we represent 2 councillors' districts. My question was with the Premier. Oh, before I go there. As far as the new school goes, I had met with Kevin a while ago and the campus committee, and I successfully lobbied with our board to get Eastern Shore High as a replacement for a new school. But it comes out of my hands and goes into the provincial government. And at the recommendation of the minister, she had asked us to consider Gatesbrook, which we did all over again, and recommended both schools be combined for one new school on, excuse me for being nervous, for being one new school on the shore. Okay, my question is, the Premier said this week, I have to get that stuff to read, that he said that the school review process, if you're closing schools, should be changed. And the other thing he said is that school boards should be reviewed. And I'm having a problem with his quotes because the procedure that's used now to review schools came from the government. And we are following what they have told us to do. And now he's saying it's not a good thing. So I'd just like to know everybody's comments. Thank you.
Can you be specific on that on the question?
Okay. Years ago, it was horrible trying to close schools. And I'm going to blow my own horn on this one because when I was on the school board in 2004, I kept 2 elementary schools open, and I don't know, Devin, if you remember or not, but one was in Upper Musquodoboit and one was Moser River. And that's because when I went to a board meeting, I would say the constituents in my area have to travel 130 kilometers to buy a pair of socks. And you're going to close their school. Anyway, very successful, very happy about it all. Now, and at that time, little schools were closed everywhere. Then after that, it came that communities had to work together and come and tell us, oh, and the board would say we're going to close the school. The community would come and say no. And that was horrendous too because that decision came before the board and we'd have to vote. What changed is now the operations come to us and say, we need to do something with the schools. The community makes the decision. The community makes the decision.
And that's what you would like to comment on?
Yeah, and that's what, so we're following the mandate of the government.
Yeah.
And he said he wants to change it. Would you change it?
Okay.
Would you change his mandate?
All right, so you want to comment on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Bridget. I think we all learned a lot just in hearing your question.
Well, nothing Kate Breton could have been a lot longer.
All right. The first speaker is Randy. Randy, yeah.
Well, I've always believed that it's a 2-tiered system and we should get rid of the Minister of Education a long time ago. I believe the province has no right being in education, particularly here in the shore. This is a parent, a regional member, Bridget, and students should be running what's going on and how we're being educated. We have a far different system on what they have in the city of Halifax, if you will. We have far different problems. We have far different complexities. And I believe that the provincial government, as I mentioned earlier, has no business telling us what to do in education. I firmly believe that. I don't see the need of it. We have elected officials on the school board. We have elected officials in the provincial government. Why? What is it serving? It serves no purpose. The people like Bridget are closer to the families and to the students. And they're the ones that need the power because they're the ones that see the problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. And Patricia, your comment, please.
So earlier I had mentioned about transparency and accountability, and it seems like the process that is taking place now is neither of those two things, and we need to really hold the government accountable for their actions and decisions for closing or opening in schools. It seems that what I'm hearing on the doorstep is that the closing of schools seems to be downloaded to these community groups, and the opening of schools seems to be more the Department of Education. And recently we've heard that they're putting forward a pause of the process to review it. And in my mind, this is a little too late to be deciding that your process isn't working. With the PC government, we will be making sure that we are transparent in how we are opening and closing schools, and certainly community is definitely involved in that process, transparently. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Devin, your comment, please.
Thank you, Bridget. I have always been a person that has grown up and lived in rural communities, starting in the Musqueam Valley, where we have been successful in keeping our little school in Upper Musqueam open through stand-up to bullying tactics and as well as many others. I also taught in Mosier River, where it was a school of 12 students, and you wouldn't believe how much these schools are the heartbeat of these small communities. Until you live and work in one of these communities, you don't understand the impact a school has on the community. In a school of 12 students, we could fill the gymnasium with community members for a Christmas concert. It's impressive. So I encourage people to look into our platform on this and our moratorium on making sure that no more schools are closed in this regard. And I have lots of questions coming at me about the Eastern Shore closure. It is not the same thing. That is for replacement. That is not a closure for amalgamation of a rural school. So I wanted to be clear on that. So yes, I do agree that we need to think about these community schools.
Thank you, Devin. And a comment from you, Kevin.
Thanks, Barb, for the question, and thank you for all your dedicated service to the students and family of the Eastern Shore over the last few years as the elected school board member. The reason for the pause on the school review process is twofold, one of which is the recent announcement by our government to implement the pre-primary program is going to see upwards of 9,000 new kids in our community schools across the province. 9,000 new kids is going to need, are going to need new classroom spaces. So it doesn't make sense to go through with school closure processes under existing rules when the game is changing very quickly. The other factor in the pause on the school review process is the recent decision by the teacher-led council to improve classroom conditions and the implementation of their recommendation to put class caps on every class from P to 12 also is going to require more classroom space. So when you put those two things together, it makes sense to hit the pause button on closing any new schools until we figure out exactly what the new landscape is going to look like. And as Devin said, the exception is for schools that are to be replaced instead of schools that are to be closed. So any school that's up for replacement, such as Eastern Shore or Gatesbrook, is not affected by this pause.